Hello everyone, so in this video we will be talking about the DJI Avata 2, and DJI now made this compatible with all of the accessories that came with the Avata 1. It's finally time to update. I have skipped most of the updates because this is still in the stock firmware. So I think this is the right time to update. So let's do it on this video. By the way, there are some issues I have seen and I have heard in some videos that it's not an easy update because it's not yet available with the consumer app of DJI. So if you will be doing this update, make sure that you are using the latest app for your Android phone or your iOS phone. And from there, we will work on the update. So let's go. Let's do this update. Okay, so we are looking at the Avata 2, the goggles 3 and the FPV controller 3, and the goggles 2 and the FPV controller 2. So we try to divide it because in this update, it's not an easy one. It's not like just plugging this all in your FPV consumer app in your PC and then you update each individually.
Okay, so from here we need to turn on the Avata 2, the Avata 1, goggles. There you go. You will see the update. If you will not turn on all of these devices, the update will not show. Such as a while ago. Okay. The problem is we cannot update the controller 2 without the Avata 2, without the Avata 1. Too many names. So, to do the update for the goggles 3, we need to turn on all of the devices so that the firmware will show on this DJI Fly app. Now, the problem is with the Avata 1, the FPV controller 2 connects directly to the quad. So, there will be no way for you to transfer the file coming from the goggles 2 and update the firmware of this controller, because you need this Avata 1 as the bridge for your app to forward that firmware file. Since we don't have the update yet on the DJI consumer app in PC, so we really need to open up this Avata 1 so we will be able to update the controller. There you go. Let's go back. Let's restart the app. Yeah, there you go. Remote controller 2, goggles 2, see? And Avata 1 update. Let's go. Let's update. It's quite larger. The file is larger than the Avata 2. So we'll be back after this update. One thing that I noticed is the update for the Avata 1 series is quite long. So possibly charge your devices before you do this update. Otherwise, if there's an issue, just redo and restart the update again.
2,000 years later.
Okay, so we have finally updated all of this. The only problem that I'm seeing right now is if you don't have the Avata 1. For example, you only bought the controller 2 and the goggles 2. The goggles 2 with update via the Fly app, but this controller needs the Avata 1 to transfer the file. I'm not yet sure if you could also use the O3 Air unit, but I believe it could potentially be used as well. But everything else could be done via the Fly app. As you can see here, I already updated it to the latest firmware. I'm not yet sure why it is not yet available in the consumer app of DJI, but possibly they have their own reason for doing so. Right now, let's try to connect the Avata 2 with these two sets here. And let's try to fly the quad with this two setup. So let's see if there's a difference or a massive drop in signal when we're going from O4 to O3 transmission. Because the difference in the design of this product is that with the goggles 3, it acts as a bridge. As I've always said on our video, the controller is now connecting with the goggles 2 and the goggles 3, and then the goggles 3 is directing that input from here to the Avata 2. But with the goggles 2, it's way different. The controller is actually communicating with the Avata 2 and vice versa. I'm not sure at the moment if it would be, if the case would be the Goggles 3 would be compatible with this FPV controller too. So we got the Avata 2 here, okay, the controller, and the goggles too. I really miss using this goggles here. So let's try to fly. I forgot my sleepers, but this is way. Need to do this first. Why am I not using a bound device? Hey, I'm already recording. Oof, okay. I'm not using a bound device, so I forgot to bind the Avata 2 with this controller. So for now, let's just cruise around while we are trying to look at our goggles too. Okay, as you can see, the difference that I noticed is that we are in 50 megabits per second, and we are flying behind these trees, and we're already dropping our signal. I haven't flown in a while. See those birds? Oh, it's attacking us. Okay. The birds are attacking us now. This is the problem. Ooh, okay. Let's go down. The birds are not friendly with the Avata 2. You see a lot of trees here and plants, so I'm trying to see if we will lose signal. No, we don't. It's still quite near. Okay, let's try to go in sports mode. Okay. You hear that? That is quite fast. I forgot to change my rates. Let's be not too hasty with this flight. You don't want to lose the quad just because of testing it. The birds are really okay. That hit me. Okay, let's go down. Those birds really attacked me that time. See, I don't have the slippers. Whoa, the Avata 2 is really good. Can't find anything here. Can we? Wow, that was cool. So that is our test flight with the Avata 2. So far so good. See, I don't have a slippers. Let's see. Okay. Nice flight, but I noticed some problem when we do a turn in this tree here. The signal becomes very bad. It drops to 20 megabits per second from 50. So it's on my side, so probably there's a dead spot there. But otherwise, when I try to move around here in the property, the signal is very good. Okay, so we are now able to bind the Avata 2 with the goggles too. It's not an easy connection. You have to do a couple of things. First is you have to update all of the firmware from the series of the Avata 2 and the series of Avata 1. Once you have done so, you can now bind your Avata 2 with the Avata 1 accessories. The problem is you have to bind your Avata 2 as well on your Fly app. I forgot to do so, but you are given 4 tries to fly without binding it to the app. Another thing is, if you will be binding the Avata 2, try to bind it first with your goggles too. Once they're binded, try to bind the Avata 2 then with your FPV controller too. So that way you will not have any issue during binding. Another thing is you cannot use the accessories, one of the accessories from the Avata 1 going to the Avata 2, because there would be a conflict because they use different ways to transmit their data, such as, okay, just to make it easy for you to understand, the Avata 2 uses 04 and the Avata 1 uses 03. One thing that I noticed as well is that with the current update, with the DJI Goggles 2, we now have an easy acro for the motion controller 2. So if you are a motion controller 2 user, the easy acro is now available for you. I'm not yet sure. We'll try to touch on it on a different video. But for this one, we are now binded. We can now use the Goggles 2 with the Avata 2. There is some dead spots when I tried to do a lap around our property, but probably that is just a dead spot on the receiver of the Goggles 2. But the flight is quite good. The Avata 2 really flies very well, but of course there are a lot of bird attacks. I think I was being followed by 3 birds just a while ago. So that is one thing that you should consider as well if you're flying. The Avata 2 is really risky on bird attacks. Okay, so that is how you bind the Avata 2 with the accessories of the Avata 1. And hopefully this video will help you to bind it and see for yourself. I really still like the Avata 1 accessories. I'll be using it this time, probably do a short flight this weekend, and let's see if we will be able to be happy with this flight. And as always, see you on the next video. Happy flying. Goodbye.